Hello and welcome back. Now this Monday morning, you probably opened up your phone and looked at your account balance, wondering, oh my goodness, how am I going to get to the end of the month with what I have in there? Don't worry, God got you. And Wake Up Nigeria got you too. We have a discussion for you. We have Ariens Shakarho. I hope I got that right. Now she is representing, and it's one of conversations that you need to turn your volume up a bit because we're going to be talking a little bit about smart loans. It's great to have you here. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
All right. So for those that probably didn't catch the name, please pronounce the name properly for me.
Okay, it's Ariens.
Yes.
Shakarho.
Shakarho. Okay.
Yes.
I almost got it.
Yes,
almost. Close enough.
Very close.
All right then. So honestly, people have money on their minds almost all through the month, and especially when it's school fees month. We just pass by and you're just like, okay, I survived it. But people are always looking for different solutions to their financial issues. I know that Meristem has something that they've been working on for a while, and it's tagged Smart Loans. Talk to us about this.
Thank you very much for that question. So, smart borrowing is simply assessing using credit in a responsible and purposeful manner. So it's not about using loans for your wants. It's assessing loans for specific needs. So those needs could be to fund your education, to fund health. It could even be for a business opportunity. But it's making sure that you take a loan that you're able to repay within your income bracket. Smart borrowing is also understanding the terms of a loan agreement before signing the dotted lines.
Understanding the fine print.
Yes.
Okay.
For example, you want to know what interest rates you're being charged.
Sure.
You want to know if there are fees. You want to know the repayment plan.
Okay.
How are you going to pay? Is it monthly? Is it quarterly?
Okay.
Is it biannually? So understanding those loan terms before signing and ensuring that whatever loan you're taking, you're able to repay, you have the capacity to repay.
Okay.
So it's just ensuring you don't borrow more than you're capable of repaying.
All right, so now once we hear, the term smart put in front of anything, sometimes it feels like there's some kind of tech advancement involved, there's some kind of AI, there's some kind of something different from what we've heard before. I know there are quite a few financial institutions giving out these opportunities to people, maybe not the same as yours, but that's why we're here to sort of differentiate the difference between what Meristem is doing and what others are doing.
So it's sort of about the same thing, but we emphasize the word smart to ensure that people are borrowing and using the money they borrow responsibly.
Okay.
So sometimes people could borrow for consumables. We advocate borrowing for use for long-term, for things that will generate long-term value. So that's where the smartness comes in, understanding what you're doing. Some people take loans, they don't understand the terms, they don't know when they're supposed to pay.
Okay.
They have a repayment plan,
Sure.
They don't stick to it, they don't know how to manage their loan. So the smartness comes from accessing the loan, using it in a responsible way, having a purpose for it. Yes.
The thoughts of loans usually come at the end, maybe as a last resort. And this is because maybe you've thought of friends, family, you've done whatever you can to scrape the pennies you've had. But it is a mindset of it being a last resort, maybe because of how we were raised, our culture, our upbringing. But it feels like suddenly we're trying to change that mindset on picking borrowing as a last resort. What are your thoughts on this?
Yes, so we don't consider loans to be a last resort.
Okay.
People should consider loans as a springboard for success. So just like you mentioned, going to family and friends, there is, when you take a loan from a company like Meristem, it's more dignifying. There's confidentiality. So imagine if you've gone to your family and friends, people talk, oh, he took so-and-so loan, she's owing me this and that, and people know your business. Sometimes you have to open up because when you want to access a facility, you do have to state the purpose. And maybe what you're doing is a bit private to you. So when you access loan from Meristem Finance, you're sure of confidentiality. It's a more dignified route to raising capital. So we're trying to change that perception that it doesn't have to be a last resort. You don't have to go round everywhere before considering using a loan.
All right then. So as a financial institution, I know that there are products that will be on the shelf.
Yes.
For you to sort of sell to everyone.
Yes.
But I would love to understand, the different products and services that Meristem Finance provides.
Okay, so we have different services. But what we do is we try to tailor the products to suit the borrowers.
Okay.
So for example, we have finance lease. This is where an asset is purchased. The borrower has the use of the assets and they pay over, could be up to 3 months. Okay. So what happens is they make a 30% equity contribution and Meristem Finance provides the balance 70%. And they use the asset for the agreed tenor while paying in installments. So that's finance lease. There's also bridge finance, which is a short-term loan to fund, big capital projects. We have working capital loans. These are loan facilities to fund daily, everyday operational needs. It could be paying your staff salary, it could be paying your rent, it could be paying suppliers, So long as there's a gap where you're expecting funds but you need to run your business day to day, working capital loans coming. And then we have another product. So for people who have investments, for example, you have a portfolio of shares, you have money market instruments. So I'll just list them. Money market instruments include treasury bills, fixed deposits, commercial papers. Now, you want to keep your investment, but you need money to finance a project. So you borrow against it.
Oh, so they become the collateral.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. But the dividends that accrue to you from your shares, they still come to you.
Seriously?
Yes.
So the dividends don't sort of go straight to the financier?
No, it doesn't, because what you borrowed from us is what you're going to repay us.
Okay.
So you still enjoy the dividends or maybe the interest payments from your investment. You don't have to sell off your investment. So some people have had portfolio for years.
Yeah.
Why should they sell it now just because they need
money,
capital? So we offer one of such products where you can say, okay, leverage on your portfolio, use it to access a loan, pay us back, continue to enjoy the dividends of your investments. Okay. Yes.
So that is an interesting one for me. But another interesting one for me is the very first one you talked about, the lease one.
Yes.
What did you call it again?
Finance lease.
Finance lease.
Yes.
So is that to say I'm leasing possibly a property or some kind of asset or equipment for
they're
a
usually,
period of time?
Yes, usually movable assets. We mostly finance cars, trucks, buses, some hospital equipment. So most times we find that people want to buy these assets. Take for example, a logistics or a transport company that needs to buy a fleet of buses, but they don't have the capital.
Sure.
The market is there. But if you wait till when you have the capital, you would have missed opportunities because competitors are coming into the market every day. So we come in there to bridge that gap. We provide 70% of the funds. We buy the assets. The customer has use of the assets. We insure the vehicles or whatever the asset is.
So you insure,
it.
Do you track as well, or?
Yes, we track it.
Okay,
yes,
fantastic.
We monitor. Yes, but the borrower has full use of the assets, and they just pay back instrumentally.
That is interesting. That is interesting. So now, one of the things that comes up the most is managing this debt, and also, what your policies are with defaulters.
Yes.
And a lot of that is really where the fear comes in. That's the question that's on everybody's mind. Oh, goodness me. What if someone can't pay back? What happens next? What is your process?
So it's responsible lending doesn't stop at disbursing, at disbursement. So you've disbursed the loan, but you also want to make sure you're supporting your borrower throughout the entire period of the loan. So we do that by, first of all, the repayment plan is very important. we try to structure our repayment plan to fit their income flow. So let's take an example of someone who earns a salary. You know that if you ask them to pay every week, that won't be possible because they earn income monthly.
At the end of the month, yes.
And then there are businesses who do contracts for other companies and all of that, and their payment terms could be 6 weeks, 2 months. If you tell them to make monthly repayment, you know that's a squeeze. So the first thing we try to do is to fit the repayment plan according to their income stream. That's the first thing. And then the second thing is we send reminders after the loan has been disbursed.
Okay.
Some people genuinely forget the dates of repayment.
Sure.
So what we do is we send them reminders. We prompt them to say, oh, you have a payment coming, so at so time, you know, just to help them plan. Okay. And then apart from that, we also incentivize it. So, and this is for repeat borrowers. For people who have borrowed before and they demonstrated a good repayment history, when they're coming back, they will say, I paid my last facility, and you check out the history. So, okay, we can, reduce your rates a little bit. Okay. That's to encourage them, because that shows that if they keep up with their plan, there's an incentive for it. Also, it helps their credit score.
Okay, so I have to, I wish there was more time for us to speak on this, but yes. I'm wondering your thoughts in just 30 seconds. Okay. Your thoughts for first-time borrowers. For
first-time borrowers, the first thing is the purpose. Okay. Why are you taking that loan? Be sure you're not taking the loan to just, for short-term enjoyment. Okay. Even though that's not a bad reason, but make sure that you're taking the loan for a good purpose. Make sure you're able to repay. Don't borrow outside your capacity.
Sure.
If your income is, say, 500,000 a month, and you go and take a loan that requires you to pay about 400,000, what would you leave on? So just ensure that you keep to repayments that are within your income bracket.
I have to say thank you so much for coming to talk to us, Ariens. It's been really insightful, and hopefully you've learned a thing or two. Of course, if you have questions, you can always use our hashtag #WakeUpNigeria on TVC and tag us with them on WakeUpNigeria, TVCE on Instagram. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
All right, then. We're going to be taking a quick break, everyone. We'll be back after this.